everybody. So today is Saturday. That means it's time for family movie night. And today we're continuing on my Muppet May. And this, I think I said last time that it was my 6th year. This is actually my 7th year doing Muppet May. And I love doing this. And we're getting into some of those more obscure films, which is really fun. And I enjoy talking about ones that people haven't seen, that I haven't seen, and shining some light on them. And today we're talking about Cinderelmo. And this is a TV special done by the Sesame Street people. And it's from 1999. And it's interesting because I had picked this for Muppet May, only done of this kind of special with Elmo or Elmo characters. I had done Abby in Wonderland, and I had done Elmo Saves Christmas, which I both enjoyed very much. I hadn't heard really much about the Cinderelmo, but I picked it for this month for Muppet May. And then when we were doing our ranking, me and Terry over Hallmarkies podcast, we did a Muppet May ranking. So you should check that out. It's our top 10 favorite Muppets projects. And it was a lot of fun. She picked Cinderelmo as one of her picks. She was telling me how good it was. That made me really excited since I picked it this year for Muppet May. And she was absolutely right. It is a delight. It is a million times better than you would ever expect. And kind of reminds me of the Barbie movies in that way, that they try way harder in this than they need to. Just like with some of the good Barbie movies, is that you just see the effort. Like there's some good songs here.
Turn around. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing this dance.
It's actually a good story. They got like a really good cast. I mean, for a 65-minute Cinderelmo special, they did not need to try this hard, and yet they do. And I really, really appreciate that. And I always admire that in projects when they didn't really have to give it such an effort, but they do, and it makes it really fun. So Cinderelmo, it's obviously your Cinderella tale, but if you're going to have Elmo be the Cinderella character, it creates a problem because you can't really have Elmo fall in love because Elmo is like a toddler. He was like 3 years old. So that would be weird. So how do you tell this story of Cinderella, but with Elmo? It's a little tricky, but I think the solution they came up with was smart. And so you have Cinderelmo with a mean stepmother played by Kathy Najimy. Really fun. She's leaning into the camp, the evil stepsister. And then you have the stepsisters played by Telly Monster. It's stepbrothers, Telly Monster and Baby Bear and Zoe. And then there's the household dog and the mice. And this does kind of bring to the forefront something that I've never talked about in Muppet May. And the reason why they have to have stepbrothers instead of stepsisters is there are hardly any female Muppets characters. Almost all of them are male, which is kind of random. Like it's something you don't really realize. But somebody was asking about if they could do a Muppet version of Little Women. You really couldn't. There's not very many. Of course, there's Janice, who's a delight and I love, and Miss Piggy, of course. But what do you do? Like Fozzie's mom? I mean, there are not that many female Muppets characters on Sesame Street or in the regular Muppets. I don't know. I just think that's kind of interesting. But and then you have Abby. So you could have her be one of the 4 March sisters. And yeah, not many female characters. They've added a few in the last couple of years, so maybe you could, but I don't know. I just think it's something that's not really talked about that much. That's interesting. It's sort of like, I mean, Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh is the same way. Almost everybody but Kanga is a male character. I mean, in that case, it makes sense because Christopher is a boy, and so it kind of makes sense. The one female character would be a mother. But for the Muppets, it's a little bit more odd that there are hardly any female characters. Anyway, so you have the stepbrothers here with Telly and Baby Bear and Zoe, and so poor Elmo. And what's interesting too is that he's introduced as a monster in this and what's interesting is that he's introduced as a monster at the beginning of this special, and I have never thought of Elmo as a monster, but I guess any of the Muppets with fur are considered monsters. And then like Bert and Ernie and characters like that are basically considered sort of subhuman kind of characters. And I don't know, I just thought that was interesting as a Muppet fan. Obviously, he's not like a bad monster. He's a good monster. He's very cute. But I thought that was interesting. So then you have the announcement about Princess Charming and is needing to find a husband and is going to have a big ball. And Cinderelmo wants to go to the ball, and which is really cute. And then you have them involving the different Sesame Street characters. You have Grover, he's the town crier. You have Cookie Monster bringing the invitation, and he has a fun song. Find a Husband Ball, the Find a Husband Ball.
When me finish baking, me going to eat them all. At the princess' 18th birthday holiday, find a husband ball.
You have Oliver Platt playing the fairy god person. And that's a lot of fun. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty quality actor to get for a 65-minute Cinderelmo special. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's way better than you need. And he's fun.
One of you guys did Wish Upon a Star, right?
Oh, yeah. Elmo did.
Okay, good. Well, I'm your fairy godfather. Excuse me, fairy god person.
You have If the Dusting Song, and you have If Elmo Could Go to the Ball, which are both a lot of fun.
Elmo could go to the ball and not have to stay in his room. He'd dance with a beautiful prince.
So one of the things they do is they turn the dog into a prince. Again, because you can't have Elmo being the one to fall in love. The prince is French Stewart. And he's so fun in this role. And I feel like he doesn't really get to play this kind of lead very often. And he's usually kind of the eccentric, character kind of, and it's kind of fun for him to get to play the prince, I think. And, but it's sort of random that the princess falls in love with the dog, but whatever. And Carrie Russell is absolutely delightful as the princess. She's so much fun. She's got her super long, flowy hair that's very beautiful. And and so we get to see her fall for the prince, and you lose the glass slipper and all that fun stuff. It's our classic Cinderella story, and that they are able to change they're able to change the dog back into the prince, so everything ends up happy. And you get everybody's doing this dancing, which is another fun song.
Everybody's doing it. So up, down, turn around. Everybody's doing this.
So it's a really good little special. It's way better than it has any right to be. It's creative, it's funny, it's got a great cast, it's got some good songs, it's sweet as you want with anything Elmo. Everybody will love it. And I just admire the effort. And it's kind of fun too, because it goes back to the tradition, to the very first project that Jim Henson ever did was a Cinderella project. So now we're going back to that, which is really fun. And like, it kind of comes full circle. And I have a review of that project, Hey Cinderella. I have a review of that from Muppet May, so you can check that out. And so yeah, that's my thoughts on Cinderelmo. It's way better than I expected. So I hope you check it out. And please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out all my Muppet May reviews. I'd really appreciate that. And check out the Patreon. That's the biggest way you can support me. And the merch store. Please take a look. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.